Mental models are the sort of unconscious ways that we understand the world. It's basically these beliefs and values and ideas that we hold in really deeply, and we don't necessarily articulate those all the time, right? We're just operating on them. We're making decisions based on them. We're approaching our work based on them. Part of what we're trying to do in Reason is to try and surface some of those mental models that are perpetuating racial disparities and really talk about them in a way that people don't usually talk about them.
I don't change anyone's heart or mind. They do it themselves. So I let go of that to begin with, that I'm going to go out and change somebody. What I do is I go out and I offer people information and a new way of seeing things. If they choose to accept it, they will change their own mental models. It's not about making someone believe what you believe. That would be nothing more than my acquiescing. What you want is for them to see that what they're looking at, that there are other views, and those views are just as valid. And in seeing all of the new data, the reason we get to that point is that we begin to close off, and so we don't see all of the other data that's out here. We only see the data that my data is the only real data, right? So I don't see all of this other stuff. So the idea is to give people space and place where they can see my data, your data, everybody else's data, and go, uh-oh, maybe my mental model isn't quite so right. Maybe I need to go back and check this. The research around what happens when your core values, your mental model gets challenged, that it is the same as being slapped in the back of the head. It's like amygdala hijacking, only about your core values. And so we do the same thing, fight, flight, freeze. The rest of our brain freezes.
Once you have that mental model in place for that belief, even if you hear data that disagrees with it, you're like, I don't think that makes sense.
My data is the only true data.
Right, right.
What ends up happening is that as we select the data and we build our beliefs determine what data we actually select.
Yeah.
And so we have a tendency then to narrow our frame, our scope.
I think there's this way that, especially when mental models they're part of the dominant culture, so they're very normalized, and they've been passed down like generation after generation, that it's hard for people to even question it. So I think that's one of the things I have found as an antidote, is not necessarily to like introduce even like something different, but just to say, is this really working for us? It doesn't feel to me like it's working for us.
Yeah.
When our mental models get so cemented, we aren't learning new things. We aren't taking in new perspectives or new ideas. And it's like even just encouraging people to be in a space of learning and exploration, I think can be powerful.